Talking about the sun in Libra, where we learn to harmonize our true power of the sun with others. But we may water down our pure vision. It can lead to great spiritual humility or confusion. So check it out. So making this video about the sun in Libra. When the sun is in Libra, we have a position of difficulty because the sun is the part of us that is aligned or oriented towards following what fills us and gives us the most light and power within. That's what the sun is. It's your internal power. All the power in the world comes from the sun. That sounds like such a crazy thing to say, all the power in the world. But think about it. The sun is the source of all life and all power. All the food in all the food you eat comes from the sun. Plants are taking sunlight and turning it into energy that drives your cells. If you happen to eat animals, then the animals eat the plants, and then nutrients are filtered through their body, which is not the best way to get your nutrition. But anyway, all the power, both the physical power and emotional, spiritual power, comes from the sun. In you, as well as in all things here on earth. And so when I say in you, I mean who you really are. Not just your physical body, not just your ego, but your true self. And we're supposed to act on that true self. We're supposed to act and just trust our instincts with the sun and act on it. This is why the sun is very powerful, for instance, in fire signs, particularly Aries where it's exalted, because we just instinctively trust that light within and we act on it when the sun is stereotypically in Aries. Now I want to be clear, this isn't necessarily for every chart, because when you start looking at a chart, there are a lot of factors. There's a lot of self factors. There's a lot of things that align a person with higher purpose. It's not just the sun. But I'm talking about this placement of the sun in Libra and the archetype of what that means, and particularly in this case because the debilitation point of the sun is in Libra. And what does that say about the sun? You want to understand that the exaltation and debilitation points actually say something about the planet more than anything else. And in the case of the sun, it talks about the way we're supposed to instinctively act on that power within, as shown by the Aries principle. And the quality of the sun when it interacts with like a Libra energy winds up being watered down and frustrating. Because again, instead of trusting our light and our higher wisdom and our true power, we are sort of checking with others to make sure it's okay. Is it okay if I'm powerful? Is it okay that I'm strong and that I pursue my highest self? That's not going to upset you, is it? It's not going to make you not like me. I hope it's okay with you that I shine brighter and step up in a bigger way and follow my true purpose and have full confidence in my ability to do anything. I hope that's okay. I hope that doesn't offend you. Just saying it sounds gross, doesn't it? And this is kind of how it works with Libra in the negative. Or it can be where we're trying to make, again, it's usually where we're trying to make sure everybody's okay, which is what Libra is about. Libra tries to have consensus, especially with the important people in our life, our partners, our family. And we want to make sure that in the group, we're not standing out too bright, that we fit in and all of that, and that we're friendly. The nature of the sun and the nature of your highest self isn't concerned with any of that stuff at all. I often use the example of, when people, when we talk about the sun, many times the sun is where we sacrifice our happiness in order to do what we know is right. And our happiness comes from things mainly of Venus and also the moon, our happiness and our comfort. So many times, this is why Venus and the Sun have a mutually inimical relationship with each other, because, for example, the Buddha, leaving his wife and family to go seek enlightenment, we look at that and go, oh, that was amazing. He, sacrificed his worldly life. But if you were his wife, she wasn't thinking that was such a hot idea. Right? She's got a child to raise, and she maybe loves him, and he leaves. Many times, again, this is very much a kind of powerful sun sacrificing everything, including the people around us, in order to pursue the truth. Now, in that sense that I just used, pursuing liberation, we can see, well, what's wrong with that? And then we stop using our imagination. We stop translating this into real-life situations. Many times, because we're not the Buddha, a very powerful sun, like let's say a sun in Aries, might just lead the person to being, like a total dictator, like Hitler had it. I don't like to bring in Hitler all the time, but he did. So he had that powerful sun, and so when the sun is powerful, we have the confidence to pursue things and trust our gut and trust our instinct. Sometimes we shouldn't have confidence, however. Again, so this is why it's not a closed-ended, oh, this is good, this is bad, this is good, this is bad. It's not what I'm saying. Just like I'm saying, simply because the sun is in Libra doesn't mean it's, quote, bad. It's not a judgment. It's understanding how the energy works, because, of course, there is definitely the possibility that this sun in Libra can lead to greater humility, where we ask questions first and we try to align and harmonize our true power with those people around us. Again, the thing we need to understand, though, with that placement is we can't sacrifice our vision for the people around us. And this is what can happen with the sun in Libra. And what this does is it can often lead to frustration, where after years and years, we're like, everybody around me has always, I've always followed what everybody else says, and we lose our way. We can't even see clear of our own path anymore because it's totally filtered through everybody else around us. This can lead to frustration and all kinds of stuff. But again, if other things are really powerful, and, especially like, let's say if you're like a Sagittarius or a Pisces or a person, or even like a Capricorn. So in those examples where the sun is not a natural benefic anyway, it's not as devastating, for example. But every chart is quite nuanced. But you just want to understand the nature, and it can lead to humility because we will not be overconfident and we won't be cocky. But the thing we have to always watch when the sun is in Libra is that we don't subjugate our own will and our own power and then let that turn into like a resentment or just a lack of focus, lack of drive. And so we'll wind up experiencing this kind of wavering confidence when the sun is weak. Because again, when we're following our true purpose and our true vision, confidence is not what we follow. We're following our purpose and our vision. And in fact, what happens is when we're outside of our comfort zone, we don't have the confidence because we're not really sure what we're doing. But when we're following our purpose, we don't care if we lack confidence because we just have to keep going because we're motivated and inspired by the higher purpose. And in Libra, for example, again, we go back and forth in this confidence zone. Because a lot of the confidence that we're trying to draw on is, what are people going to say? What if I try it and I look foolish? Oh, everybody's telling me, don't try this. You might look foolish. You might make a mistake. Oh, I don't know. That doesn't sound very practical. And we're listening to what everybody's saying, and it's undercutting our purpose. So this is always what needs to be watched when the sun is in Libra. But again, wherever the sun goes, it illuminates that area of life. So it does illuminate relationships, illuminate that part of us that wants to compromise and wants to get along with others. But we always need to be aware that we may be sacrificing our authentic vision and purpose in order to have a connection when the sun is in Libra.